Okay. Hello everyone, welcome to free crash course on competitive exams held by VIRAT HINDUSTAN SANGHAM in association with Manifest IAS Bengaluru. This program is inspired by Dr. SUBRAMANIAN SWAMY and it is convened by Sri RAVISHANKAR sir, State Education Convener for VHS Karnataka and also the President of Good Neighbors India NGO. So I am the chief mentor of your program. So I have the expertise of teaching students from past 5 years, right? So we'll be dealing totally 8 topics in this crash course: polity, history, economy, geography, environment, current events, aptitude and science. So we are done with polity and history. So economy is taking a bit time because it's full of concepts, right? So you can watch this program online. It is available only online. If you wish to attend online, you have to come to our center in Bengaluru. Right, so you can watch this program online on the YouTube channel of VIRAT HINDUSTAN SANGHAM and also on the YouTube channel of Udaya News Karnataka. On these 2 channels, you can watch this program. And also you can, for any further queries and further mentoring, further guidance, anything, any doubt clearance, you can contact us directly on the Telegram app, and the channel is VHS Education Forum, VHS space Education space Forum. If you type there, you have to join our channel and you can avail free mentoring. You can ask all your queries there, right? So let us begin the program. Okay. So we were talking about foreign trade yesterday. Foreign trade. So foreign trade means it is no country is self-sufficient. Every country requires some of the other resources and every country also wants to export the resources in order to gain foreign currency, foreign forex reserves, right? So no country is self-sufficient. So in the due to this, export import takes place. Foreign trade mainly means it is import and export, right? So we spoke about the non-tariff barriers yesterday. So we will start with the quantitative restrictions. Quantitative restrictions. See here, yesterday we spoke about non-tariff barriers. Non-tariff barriers means those barriers which are not which do not have any link with the taxation, right? It is non-tariff, right? Whereas here is quantitative restrictions. Quantitative, it is also a non-tariff barrier. What is quantitative restrictions? To understand that, you need to understand the concept quantitative. Quantitative means what? Quantity, right? So quantitative, what are the restrictions? One is quotas. So it was actually there before 1991 during the closed economy. Every industry was given some quota and they had to manufacture only that much content. Similarly, foreign products, if we have to import the products, there were fixed quotas. Only that much, only that product in that much quantity can be imported or exported. So quota system is a quantitative restriction. Then you have licensing. Licensing means if you have to export or import, you should have a certain license. That is, if you don't have the license for exporting and importing that particular product, you are not eligible to do that. For example, licensing to import your drugs, that is, or your sin goods like cigarettes, alcohol, all those things. So there also you require licensing. That is also a restriction. Then you have these restrictions, these quantitative restrictions are not allowed by World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization says whatever the restrictions that are there, it should be either in tariff barrier. The World Trade Organization doesn't even prefer non-tariff barrier. It only prefers tariff barriers, right? And also it goes for actually reducing the barrier as much as possible. But if at all there has to be a barrier, it should be tariff barrier, that is tax barrier, that's all, right? It doesn't prefer the quantitative restrictions. Next we have the concept of high level advisory group. See, with respect to export and import, there is a high level advisory group, right? So I told you with respect to public sector, public PSUs, if there is one committee, that is Arjun Sen Gupta committee with respect to export import, that is a advisory group. That advisory group is headed by Surjit Balla. He is the one who is the head of the high level advisory group. What does that group do? That gives the advice. It gives the advice how we have to increase the exports, how we have to improve our export potential. So that is what this advisory group says. So it was a very recent committee. It was appointed it gave its report in 2019, just 2-3 years back, right? So it focuses on doubling the exports. So I told you the merchandise exports, service exports, the potential in India, but Surjit Balla committee says we have to double our exports, because with respect to merchandise exports, our potential is just 1.7%. So in the world exports, our exports contribute just 1.7%. So this committee says that we have to double it. We have to double it, right? So next, it says that we have to lower the corporation tax. Lower the corporation tax. What does it happen? If we lower the corporation tax, it will lead to more and more investment, right? Foreign investment. For example, into 2018-2019, the corporate tax, or 2019-2020, the corporate tax was reduced from 30% to 25%. What is corporate tax? Corporate tax means taxes paid by the corporate companies like Infosys, Wipro, all these companies. Okay, so that was reduced to 25%, right? So it says we have to reduce the corporate tax in order to attract more and more foreign investment, in order to set up their companies in India. Next, simplify regulation. Whatever the regulations are there. See, if you take any sector, starting from acquiring the land, taking license, getting electricity connection, and also having various other licenses, there are a lot of restrictions, right? Lot of restrictions are there. Even with respect to contract enforcement, all these restrictions are codified under ease of doing business. So ease of doing business, who gives this ease of doing business ranking? It is given by World Bank. World Bank gives this ranking, according to which India's rank is 63. India's rank is 63. So like few years back, like 8-9 years back, the rank was more than 100, 140, something like that. But after the new government came in 2014, it progressively increased the ease of doing business. Now we stand at 63, which is a tremendous achievement, right? Okay. Next, we have to simplify the regulations, whatever the regulations that have to be simplified. Then it says we have to start this Surjit Balla committee also says we have to start a concept of elephant bonds. What do you mean by elephant bonds? Does it have anything related to animals? No, it is not related to any animal. So it shows the magnitude of the bond. That is, it must be a big size bond, right? So just like masala bonds doesn't have any link with the masala. Similarly, this doesn't have any link with the elephant, right? Elephant bond means it invests in long-term infrastructure. See, what happens is, if the banks, normal banks give the loans for the companies or the infrastructure companies, there will be asset liability mismatch. I have told it earlier. Asset liability mismatch means, see, whatever we keep in savings account and current account or demand deposit or fixed deposit in the bank, that is a liability on the bank, that we keep only for short term, like 2 or 3 years. Whereas the asset of the bank, that is the loans given by the bank, it is for the long term, like 15 years, 20 years, especially for the infrastructure sector. So for that, the banks are not capable of giving. That is why I told you takeout financing. Takeout financing is there, and also long-term infrastructure under bonds, elephant bonds. Next, you have this Surjit Balla committee also says that we have to provide various financial services like various products like insurance for the corporates, insurance for export import, also giving credit scripts, duty credit scripts, and also giving this a production linked incentive, and also tax remissions. All those things, all the financial services should be given to the exporters and importers, said by the Surjit Balla committee. It also says we have to sign as much as possible free trade agreements. Free trade agreements we have to sign. So all these things are given by the Surjit Balla committee, right? Okay. Next, you have important terms with respect to foreign trade. So what are the important terms? That is, the first term is DGFT, Director General of foreign trade. So it is a government entity. It might be autonomous as well. So this falls under Ministry of Commerce and Industry. It doesn't fall under External Affairs Ministry. It falls under Commerce and Industry Ministry. So it decides, Director General, there will be a Director General. What does it do? It decides the EXIM policy of India, that is export import policy. I told you India has India's export policy or foreign trade policy of India, FTP India, right, from 2015 to 2020, right? So this DGFT speaks about the export import policy of India, and also it gives the license for trade houses in order to carry out the trade, in order to carry out the import and export. Licensing will be done, right? Next you have the EPZs, export processing zones, exports processing zones and export oriented units. So these two also focus exclusively on exports. So here you have the concept of domestic tariff area. I told you domestic tariff area means what? See, if this is a one country, the entire country is called a domestic tariff area within the country. Within this country, if there is SCZs or NMIZ or your EPZ or EOU, those are actually considered to be foreign territories, right? With respect to the production, not with respect to sovereignty, but with respect to the production or export, right? So these products cannot be traded, or if they are traded in the domestic trade area, they have to give what? They have to pay customs duty, right? And also this dispersal, EPZ and EOs, how is it dispersed? See, with respect to India, export processing zones are actually concentrated. They are concentrated in one particular area, whereas export oriented units, so EPZs are actually concentrated in one particular region, whereas export oriented units, these units are spread across the India. So there is no concentration. Then there is forfeiting. Forfeiting means what? It is similar to factoring. Factoring means what? Like if a person exports a product, he will not receive the money immediately. Rather, he might receive some document that the foreign company owes him this much money, right? So what can he do? He can give it to some bank, where the bank will say that I am going to give the money by taking some commission. That is forfeiting, the concept of forfeiting. Then you have ROTTEP scheme. ROTTEP scheme. It means remission of duties or taxes on export production. So this replaced the MEIS. MEIS na this ROTTEP scheme replaced. What is MEIS? Merchandise Export from India scheme. That was replaced by ROTTEP. ROTTEP means remission of duties or taxes on export products. That is, taxes on the export products are remissioned, that is reduced, right? This is the scheme. So this is ROTTEP scheme is implemented by whom? Finance Ministry. Please note down the ministry, because ROTTEP scheme is, you might confuse, it might be implemented by whom? Ministry of Commerce and Industry, whereas ROTTEP scheme is implemented by the Finance Ministry. Next you have deemed exports. What do you mean by deemed exports? See, India imports crude oil and gemstones. Thus all these crude oil and gemstones used within the boundary of India, is it exclusively used by the domestic customers? No. So more than half of it, or more than 75% of it, is utilized for exporting, re-exporting after value addition. Gems, if we import, we will polish them, we will make them into jewelry and export. If we import the crude oil, we will do fractional distillation and export the diesel, paraffin wax and all those products, right? So these products which are imported in order to re-export are called as deemed exports. Then you have export promotion capital goods. Export promotion capital goods. So it means so this EPCG, export promotion capital goods, it focuses on the capital goods which are exported. This council EPCG focuses on the export of the capital goods. Capital goods means what? Machineries and various other products. Then you have harmonized system, International Trade Code. What does it say? ITC, International Trade Code. It is a harmonized system of code. So it gives the number, a particular number will be given. That particular number can be used to track the products across the world. The product can be tracked across the world. I have spoken about the harmonized system of nomenclature, which is given by World Customs Organization. So this is International Trade Code. It also speaks about a particular number, a 6-digit or 12-digit number, which is used to track the products across the world. Then you have counter trade. Concept of counter trade. What do you mean by counter trade, right? So if a country imposes, say let's say China, here is India. If China imposes some restrictions on Indian products, India can reimpose restrictions on Chinese products. That is the concept of counter trade, countering the trade, right? These are the important terms with respect to the foreign trade, right? Okay. Next, we will move towards the foreign direct investment. Next chapter is foreign direct investment. What is foreign direct investment? So you have to decode the word first. Foreign, which is not domestic. Direct means which is direct. So it doesn't come through any intermediary. It doesn't come through any bank, via any government, any organization. Directly the investment comes to India, right? And investment, you know what is investment? So investment is done in order to take some profit, right? Build some industry. So that is the concept of foreign direct investment. See, why India foreign direct investment is attractive? Why India is an attractive destination for foreign direct investment? See, India is a attractive destination for foreign direct investment because of the huge market, huge human resource, highly skill is there but not high, but skilled population is available, especially with respect to the knowledge industry, information technology, right? So because of all this, and also the government is now, it is facilitating the trade, that is, it is facilitating the ease of doing business, that is also there. And also government is providing various facilities for investment, that is also there. We are trying to sign a bilateral trade and investment agreement with whom? With European Union. Also we have free trade agreements with various countries. Also we have a model BIT Act, bilateral investment treaty is there. Bilateral investment treaty means what? Bilateral, between the two countries. Investment means investing, we investing in other country investing in us. So third is treaty. The treaty which governs the bilateral investment is the bilateral investment treaty, right? So because of all this, and also India is a growing economy, right? India is a growing economy. So before the COVID start, we were growing 6 to 7%. Even before that, we had even reached the 8 to 9% growth rate. So India is the fastest. India was the fastest growing economy in the world as per the IMF projections. Next to next year, that is next year and next to next year, we are going to hit the growth rate of 8 to 9% again. Again, India will be the fastest growing economy. Because of all these reasons, India is an attractive destination for foreign direct investment, right? We have the 10% rule. So what is 10% rule? I discussed it while discussing the stock market or money market, right? 10% rule means, see, if 100% money is there, 100% investment, if the investment crosses 10%, then it is called FDI, foreign direct investment, right? Then if it is below 10%, it is called foreign portfolio investment. Below 10%, it is foreign portfolio investment. What is portfolio? Portfolio, it is particular sector. And also foreign portfolio investment also can be considered as this investment in the stock market, right? Investment in the stock market in order to take the profit. Whereas FDI is with respect to establishing a company, establishing and taking profit later on. So proper presence. FPI actually is speculative, that is, it will come and go, like with the same speed it comes. So you can say FPI is a hot money concept, whereas foreign direct investment is a proper investment within the boundary of India in order to grow some company, right? So that is a difference. That is the 10% rule. Then you have two routes of investment. There are two routes in order to invest in the Indian economy. The two routes are, one is greenfield investment. So actually two routes, the concept is two routes is, one is automatic route, the another one is approval route. Automatic route means what? So automatic, under automatic route, foreign direct investment or foreign portfolio investment can come into India without government approval. Government need not give any approval. For example, your investment, the automatic route approval for the asset reconstruction company, and asset reconstruction company we have 100% FDI under automatic route. So that is automatic route. Then you have for your investment in the approval route. So what is the example of approval route? You have the defense investment. Defense investment over 25%. We need approval from the government, right? So these are the two routes. Then you have greenfield and brownfield investment. These terms you will be seeing in the newspapers. What is a greenfield investment? Greenfield investment means there is no pre-existing industry. So if we are starting an industry, it will be from the beginning, from the scratch, we are starting the industry. So there will be green. So the word also says there will be green pasture, right? Green land will be there. We will clear that land and start the industry from scratch, start the infrastructure from scratch. Whereas brownfield investment means, brownfield means industry, some industry or some infrastructure is already there. We are investing in it. So this is a new industry. So this is investment in the old industry. That is the concept between greenfield investment and also brownfield investment. Next you have the two types of inflows, that is flows. That is, if the investment comes into India, it is called inflow. If the investment goes out of India, suppose Indians invest in other country. For example, Tata's invested in Jaguar Land Rover. They bought it. So that is outflow. Whereas some other company invests in India, that is inflow. For example, investment in Zomato by Chinese companies, that is inflow. So what is the benefits of FDI? What is the benefits? See, the benefit is it is going to give us the foreign exchange. Foreign exchange, it will give us the with the foreign exchange, it increases the economic stability. Economic stability. Then with foreign exchange, we will get good ratings. This CRISIL, Standards and Poor, all these organizations are going to, Goldman Sachs, all of them are going to give good ratings. And also FDI can be invested to boost the service, boost the taxation. Taxation will increase, thereby social sector investment will also increase, right? And also with respect to the FDI, it can boost our Make in India initiative, right? And also with respect to FDI, it can increase the employment, right? So all these are the benefits of the FDI. There are numerous benefits. So it can also decrease the inflation. So all these are the benefits of FDI. So what are the costs of FDI? What are the costs, right? What are the negatives of FDI? One, it is foreign investment. It can come, it can go. So we do not have any control over it. It is foreign investment. Second is, it might threaten the sovereignty of India, especially with respect to the, if the investment is more. We see in the South American countries, foreign investment, how it has wreaked havoc. So foreign investors start controlling the government, right? The best example for this is your East India Company, foreign company getting converted into a political entity, right? That is the best example. Then you have what are the costs? It might, I said it might lead to employment increase, but whose employment? Is it, for example, wherever China invests, China does the foreign direct investment, it is sending the Chinese laborers to work in those investments. So local population is unemployed. That is also there. Then with foreign direct investment, domestic industry might suffer. For example, Amazon came. After Amazon came, Flipkart suffered with the competition, right? Flipkart, Indian company, suffered with competition. So all these things are the negatives of FDI, foreign direct investment. So what should be the precautions? Precautions with respect to having a good FDI. One thing is, we can have government approval route, government approval for some critical sectors like defense sector, space sector. We can have government approval route in order to precaution. Next is, with respect to FDI, what should be the precautions? We should have a strong economy. Strong economy should be there. Then this FDI comes and goes, nothing will happen. Then we should have a strong currency, right? Strong currency which is not dependent on any currency. That will not hamper the FDI. Then we should have strong macroeconomic credentials, inflation, interest rate. all these things should be strong. If that is there, even if FDI hampers, that can be withstood, So these are the precautions we should take with respect to the having the proper foreign direct investment. Next we have the concept of Indian economy, is it FDI friendly? See, till 1991 India was a closed economy and it was not foreign direct investment friendly. So till then the investors were treated with hostile perception. They were not welcome, right? But after 1991 India has turned out to be FDI friendly. Many sectors have been opened up for FDI. Even your banking sector is open. That is, even public sector banks, you can put 20% FDI, right? Insurance sector is open. Your multi-brand retail is open, right? So many products are today open for foreign investment, right? So India is FDI friendly. We have a friendly government as well. Friendly government is there. There is lot of skilled workers are there, and there is a lot of market, right? And also interest rate, macroeconomic potential is good. So RBI is doing good work. So because of all this, India can be considered a FDI friendly country. India is good for the FDIs, right? Next you have incentives to FDI. What are the incentives we have given to the FDI to attract the FDI? One is we have given tax concessions in order to attract the FDI. Then we have given convertibility, current account convertibility has been increased, right? Current account convertibility is there. Even capital account convertibility to some extent it is there. That is one thing. What is current account, capital account? I have already discussed. Current account, we will discuss it under BOP, balance of payment, right? So convertibility is there. Apart from that, we have, what are the incentives we have given? We have special economic zones, we have export oriented units, national manufacture and investment zones. So all these zones are there where investment is attracted, and also we have a friendly government policy. Our ratings are good. So because of all these, our sovereign ratings are good. Our debt to GDP ratio is good. So all these are friendly, FDI friendly measures. So what are the other incentives? We have good policy, foreign trade policy is there. Apart from that, we have startup policy is there. So we are welcoming. So these are the incentives given by the government in order to attract more and more FDI. Also, long-term capital gains tax is also less, right? Capital gains tax is also less. Next, India's FDI policy, 1991. So 1991 is a watershed moment. So till 1991, FDI policy was different. Post 1991, the FDI policy is different, right? So 1991 is a watershed breakthrough. So after till 1991, whatever the investment that used to come through approval route. Government has to approve the investment, right? Post 1991, most of the sectors have been given what? Have been given automatic route. Automatic route investment is allowed. Then, so I have discussed already what is government route and what is automatic route. So if the investment is approved by the foreign investment is approved by the government, so it is said that investment is coming through government route. If it is automatic without anybody's approval, then it is automatic route, right? Prohibition. See, what is prohibition? It is not with respect to alcohol, right? Prohibition means certain sectors FDI is prohibited. Which are the sectors? You, for example, your space sector, your nuclear sector. So in all these sectors, the FDI is prohibited, right? FDI is prohibited in those sectors, right? Even railways, the FDI is prohibited. Now they are planning to open it up, right? Okay. Next we have Foreign Investment Promotion Board. See, earlier there was this Foreign Investment Promotion Board which used to look after the foreign investment. So how much foreign investment is coming? How are we approving it, right? So where all this foreign investment is allowed. So it is a government body which used to direct, which used to control the foreign investment in India, right? So actually this acted as a hindrance. It acted as a hindrance to the foreign investment. So foreign investment, it acted as a hindrance, that is a problem. So it was abolished. It was abolished in 2017. 2017 only this was abolished because this board consisting of bureaucrats acted as a hindrance to foreign investment. So it was abolished. So that also promoted our ease of doing business. So this board was initially under Ministry of Finance. Ministry of Finance kalagittu. So it used to clear FDI up to 5,000 crore. What this board used to do, up to 5,000 crore. If the foreign investment is there, it used to clear those investment. Above 5,000 crore, who used to clear? It is Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, headed by Prime Minister. So, Cabinet Committee I have discussed under Polity. So that used to clear the investment above 5,000 crore. So now 95% of the investment, 95% of the foreign investment is under automatic route. Now it is 45% is under automatic route, right? Sorry, 95% is under automatic route, just 5% is under approval route. 5% is under approval route. So approval route approved by the government. Next you have FDI inflows. FDI inflows. So we have open door policy. Open door means what? So we have opened our arms to attract the FDI. So we have, with respect to FDI, we are attracting the FDI from all the countries. We have open door policy. Till now we have $65 billion of FDI. That's a huge number, right? $65 billion of FDI in India. So whereas see, when FDI, so India is one of the top attractive destinations for the foreign direct investment. Why? I have already told it, right? Then you have world, when the world, actually in the world, when FDI went down. So when FDI went down in the world, actually it increased in India, or it did not get affected in India. So world FDI kadme adru, it did not affect in India. So you have untaxed United Nations Council for Trade and United Nations Commission for Trade and Development, right? UNCTAD. This gives a report called World Investment Report. See, the reports are important from your exams perspective. They are going to ask UNCTAD publishes which report, or on the other hand, they can give World Investment Report is published by whom? It is UNCTAD, right? UNCTAD 2019, it gave a report that saying that when the world FDI across the world went down, India FDI increased, or it remained unaffected, right? So we have commitment versus reality. With respect to FDI, we have the concept of commitment versus reality. What is commitment versus reality? See, actually the FDI is committed. So they commit a lot of numbers, right? So when this, in the trade summits, right? You have Gujarat Investor Summit, you have Karnataka Investor Summit, right? So there are various summits held to attract the investment, right? So in these summits, what these investors do, they are going to say, I am going to invest $100 billion. I am going to invest $10 billion. So they are going to give promises, right? Just like how politicians fail to keep the promises, similarly, the investors also fail to adhere to the promise. Their commitment is high, whereas in reality, the investment is not so much. So this is the difference. Next, you have recent Fdi liberalization measures. So Fdi liberalization. So that is liberalize, open up the economy more and more. So make the economy open for foreign direct investment, right? So see, you might wonder why foreign investment is coming to India, right? One is they get huge profits in India because of market, because of low interest rate, all those things. And also one more positive is the exchange rate is in favor, exchange rate. See, for $1, if somebody is investing $1, for them $1 is a very small number. But when in India it is 75 rupees. For us, 75 rupees is a considerable number. So you take $100. $100 is a small number for US people. Whereas for India, it is how much? 7,500 rupees. It is a big number, right? So because of the favorable exchange rate, FDI is coming to India. That is one of the reasons. So this, according to recent FDI liberalization measures, so we have targeted $100 billion. $100 billion goal we have targeted in order to attract the FDI. $100 billion goal we have targeted, right? So I told you the investment till now is $65 billion. So we have targeted $100 billion, right? 2019, there is a draft national e-commerce policy. What is e-commerce? All your Walmart, Alibaba, Flipkart, Amazon, Tata Click, all Paytm Mall, all these are e-commerce companies, right? Draft, with respect to these companies, we have a draft national e-commerce policy which was given in 2019. So draft means it is not yet final, right? What does this draft say? It says we should have 100% FDI in marketplace model of e-commerce. So it says that we should allow 100% FDI. Where should we allow 100% FDI? In marketplace model. Marketplace model. That is, these e-commerce themselves act as a market. They are not a participant in market, but they themselves are a market, right? So they are a marketplace in themselves, right? So in that marketplace model, we should allow 100% FDI. That is what this policy, draft national e-commerce policy, talks about. Next, you have 2018 National Digital Communication Policy. National Digital Communication. So you have all your communication through mobile phones. So internet, whatever virtual media, digital media, whatever the communication is the digital communication, WhatsApp, all these things, right? So according to the digital media is also there, right? So digital communication policy, it says that FDI in telecom sector, telecom falls under communication. So foreign direct investment in telecom sector should be $100 billion. So according to the 2018 National Digital Communication Policy, the investment in telecom sector should be $100 billion. That is what is said by this policy. So where do we allowed the FDI? We had allowed it in Air India. So Air India, we were offered for sale. We have given it up for sale. Even foreign sector, foreign companies could have taken it over, but no foreign companies showed interest because the debt of, that is the sala of the Air India was too much, and it was thought to be a gone case. Whereas thanks to Tatas, so Tatas are one of the most patriotic organizations, patriotic national service companies, right? That is why I personally recommended be vocal for local. That is Atmanirbhar Bharat. So if you are buying a car, buy Indian manufactured car. That is Maruti Suzuki, Tatas, right? All these, or Mahindra. So you should buy Indian cars. If you are buying any products, so see to it that it is manufactured in India. Let us support our economy, right? Be vocal for local. This is the call given by even our Prime Minister under Atmanirbhar Bharat. So as I was saying, Tata was one of the most patriotic companies, patriotic organizations. So they bought this Air India. Now it is said that it is being revamped, right? Next, real estate broking. So FDI is allowed in real estate also, not real estate per se, but brokerage, in real estate brokerage. So you have this Nestaway is there, nobroker.com is there, right? So all these are real estate brokerage companies, right? So their FDI is allowed. Then with respect to FDI, we have given single window clearance. What do you mean by single window clearance? So there will be one designated person or then one per designated authority who will give all licenses, all clearances, everything. If a person wants to invest in India, he can just contact that authority. He will give them the electricity license, building license, pollution license, everything will be arranged by him, including the land papers, also labor law legislation, registration, everything. So that is single window clearance is given for FDI. Then also fast tracking the approval process. We are fast tracking the approval, right? Earlier, if some person wanted to do the foreign direct investment, if it went for government approval, it used to take years together. Now it has been fast tracked. Next, you have the one more changes is, I told you Foreign Investment Promotion Board was abolished. The next change is we have allowed 100% FDI in insurance intermediaries. Please understand that this is not 100% insurance in 100% FDI in insurance per se, rather insurance intermediaries. So insurance brokers, there we have allowed 100% FDI. Then we have coal sector mining, we have allowed 100% FDI. So India is one of the largest manufacturers of coal in the world. So we have, with respect to coal exploration, we have one monopoly company called Coal India Limited. We have Coal India Limited, which acts as a monopoly. Monopoly means it is a sole company in this sector, right? No other company is involved. So we have allowed 100% foreign direct investment in coal sector, and also digital media. We have approved 26%. We have approved 26% in digital media. More than that, maybe we 26% via government route. We have approved 26% foreign direct investment in digital media. Digital media, that is your digital news, digital entertainment, right? All these things, your Amazon Prime, all these things, Amazon Prime, digital news, all these things, we have allowed 26% FDI via government route. Next, we will talk about FDI in defense sector. What is the foreign direct investment in defense sector? So it is, see, earlier defense sector, it is thought to be not fit for FDI because it is a country's security perception. So earlier FDI was not allowed in the defense sector, but now it has been allowed. That is why you have Reliance Industry partnering with US based companies. So you have these Chinook helicopters, Chinook, Blackhawk, all these US helicopters are being manufactured in India, or the technology is being transferred to India in order to manufacture them, right? So we have FDI in defense sector. We have opened up the defense sector. See, why we have to open the FDI in defense sector? Because India is the largest defense importer, second largest. Who is the first largest? It is Saudi Arabia is the largest defense importer. It is India is the second largest defense arms importer in the world. So after Narendra Modi government came, since 2016, we have liberalized the foreign direct investment in the defense sector. Since 2016, we have liberalized the foreign direct investment. Since 2016, foreign direct investment is liberalized. That is, in defense sector also, foreign direct investment can be done. What are the advantages of allowing the opening up the defense sector for the FDI? One first advantage is our arms import bill will come down, right? That is one thing. Second thing is more new technologies will come down. We will have good products, new technical products with the time. That is there. It will increase the economy. It will increase the employment, and also it will give boost to the arms export. These poor countries like African countries or South American countries, they can buy the arms from India, right? So all these are the advantages of FDI in defense sector. Also what happens if the FDI is allowed in the defense sector? What happens if there is a war? If there is a war, we need not depend on any foreign country for defense equipments. We can manufacture our own defense equipments. These are the advantages of foreign direct investment in defense sector. So in defense sector, 49% is under automatic route. So up to 49% investment can be from automatic route, whereas 100% is approved under government route. If government gives approval, 100%, full 100% can be invested in India via the FDI, right? So it benefits in the war. In the time of war, we need not ask for anyone's help. For example, you take the example of 1965 war with Pakistan, 1971 war with Pakistan, 1962 war with China, right? Though at that time, and also your Kargil war. During Kargil war also, the quality of equipments, the number of equipments was not very good. So we have to start a new defense policy, defense procurement defense procurement procedure 2020 is there, right? And also we started this Shekatkar committee. We gave this we gave the mandate for Shekatkar committee in order to give recommendations with respect to defense modernization. So that also recommended, that committee also recommended FDI in defense sector. Then we have defense exports fetches the Forex, right? So if we export the defense equipments for foreign countries, if we export it, it fetches us the Forex reserve, foreign exchange reserve. Then you have offset policy. This offset policy is very, very important when it comes to the foreign direct investment or in defense sector, especially in defense sector. What does it mean? Seeking technology or investment in return of buying equipments, right? So let's say India is buying this MI helicopters or Ka helicopters, right? Or also AK-57 rifle. So instead of buying the rifles or the equipments directly from the foreign entity, what we can do is, we can ask them the technology. See, there is a famous proverb saying that don't give a person bread, teach him to earn his bread, right? So rather than buying the equipments directly, can't we manufacture the own equipments by transferring the technology? So what India does under the offset policy, we will buy the equipments. That was also the same case under Rafale deal. We will buy 36 jets directly, right? After that, whatever the jets, you have to manufacture that in India by transferring the technology to India. That was the case. So seeking technology or investment in return of buying equipment. We will buy so many equipments. In turn, you have to give us the technology. You have to invest in India. That is offset policy. We have defense procurement procedure. Defense procurement procedure 2013 is there. The latest procedure was given in 2020. Well, that also speaks about the defense procurement, that is FDI, right? So defense procurement, what does it mean? Procuring equipments for the defense forces, that is given by this procedure. So the latest one is 2020. That also speaks about the offset policy. Latest policy also procedure also speaks about the offset policy, and also latest procedure also speaks about one criteria called buy global, manufacture in India. Buy global, manufacture in India. What is this buy global, manufacture in India? It means we will buy from the global around the world, but they have to come and manufacture in India. That is what buy global, manufacture in India clause. So you can see the defense procurement procedure 2020 under your internal security section, or also under your current affairs, right? Okay. This is with respect to the foreign direct investment. Next, we will move to the most important chapter, balance of payment. Balance of payment. See, what is balance of payment, right? So balance of payment means, see, every country told they are not self-sufficient. They have to trade with the other countries, right? So also not only trade, our Indian origin people go to foreign countries. They will send some investments, they will send some money to India, or else if the government is in need of money or the companies are in need of money, they will take the money or borrow the money from foreign countries. So all these things show that there is a interaction, financial interaction among the global countries, not only countries, with respect to the global organizations, right? Like World Bank, IMF, ADB, AIB, NDB, all these organizations fund. So there is a global interaction, borrowing, trade, remittance, all these things are there. So with respect to this, it shows that there is a financial connection among the countries. So what is the balance? So is there a balance? Like, is India sending more? India is giving more investment, or India is taking more investment, or India is exporting more, or India is taking more, India is borrowing more, or India is giving more, right? So the balance of all this is called the balance of payment. We will look at it, what it means, right? Statement of economic and financial transactions with the world. It just means the definition of balance of payment is, it is the statement of economic and financial transactions. Financial transactions is the word, right? So you transact with your company or with public, so you maintain a bank statement, right? Similarly, what is the statement of the country with respect to its trade or with respect to its interaction with the foreign countries is the balance of payment. It is a statement of economic and financial transaction, with the world, and it is counted for 1 year. The term period is every 1 year we are going to calculate the balance of payment, right? Okay. So, if the outflow, see, with respect to balance of payment, you have to understand two concepts. One is inflow of foreign currency. Next is, so see, whatever the trade happens, one is trade. Next is borrowing, that is loans, or third is remittance, foreign Indians sending the money to India. See, all these are different products, whereas everything is measured in only one thing, that is currency, foreign currency. So foreign currency inflow is measured, outflow is measured, right? So if the inflow is more than outflow, it is called balance of payment surplus. In all these sectors, trade, remittance, factoring, we'll discuss all that things, borrowing, investment, including all these things, if the foreign currency inflow is more, then it is called surplus. If the outflow is more, it is called deficit, right? Deficit, surplus, right? Okay, then you have capital account. Under this balance of payment crisis, balance of payment, there are two accounts. Balance of payment, two accounts. One is capital account, another is current account. BOP can be counted in two things. One is capital account, another is current account. What is capital account? What does it consist of? If you are measuring the capital account, it is an addition of investment and borrowing. It is a measure of investment and borrowing, right? What do you mean by investment? Investment means it includes your foreign direct investment, foreign portfolio investment, all those things. If foreigners invest in India, that is what? That is investment in India. So capital account, capital, bandawala, investment, one thing. Second is borrowing. Capital account includes borrowing. Only these two things constitute the capital account. Borrowing means sala, that is loans from the foreign institutions or foreign countries, right? That might be loan taken by government or private company, right? So FDI constitutes the investment, FBI constitutes the investment, ECB, external commercial borrowing, that constitutes what? That constitutes borrowing, that doesn't constitute investment. Then you have the concept of masala bonds. So masala bonds are actually not investment, they are borrowing, because we have to return the money, right? So this is the capital account. Next you have current account. See, whatever in the balance of payment, if you remove the capital account, whatever is remaining, that is the current account. That is rest of balance of payment. Rest remaining, taking out the investment and borrowing, that is capital account. If you remove, whatever is remaining, that is the current account. So it is also called as a trade account, because current account includes the trade. Trade means what? Import and export, right? So what are the terms in the current account? You have merchandise trade. So with respect to trade account, you have merchandise. Merchandise, I have told you, physical goods. Physical goods is one thing. Then you have invisibles. Invisibles, services, like services. For, one of the services, knowledge process outsourcing, KPO, BPO industry. So all these come under the services. Then you have consultancy services, financial consultancy, real estate consultancy, education consultancy. So all these consultancies also come under invisibles. So current account includes that also. Then it includes remittances. Remittances, I have told you. See, India has been the highest receiver of remittances in the world, not China. India is the highest receiver. Why? There are 2 crore Indians residing outside India. They send the money to India, right? For their back for their family or buying some assets. That is remittance. Remittance also come under current account. Please remember, remittance comes under current account. It doesn't come under capital account. Then you have factor payment. So this concept is important because people find it's difficult to understand. Factor payment includes basically these things. Wage, right? What is wage? Suppose you go outside and you are earning something. You are earning in a foreign company outside India, you will be given a wage that will contribute to factor payment. Then you have interest, right? If you have given loans to someone, right? See, the loan will come under capital account, whereas the interest paid to the loan comes under factor payment, that is current account. So the interest paid comes under current account. The profit, if you invest in some foreign company, that investment comes under capital account, whereas the profit you earn out of it comes under factor, that is current account, right? Then you have factor, profit or rent. Rent, for example, India, for example, SBI sets up a branch in London, right? So there they have to pay rent to that office. That comes under invisible current account. Then you have dividend, right? Dividend means what? Dividend means profit, right? So ONGC company has invested in Aramco, MCO. So it is a Saudi Arabia based company. There ONGC has invested. Whatever the profits that is given to India, that is Indian government, that constitutes a dividend, that also comes under the current account. See, you should know what are the things included in capital account, what are the things included in current account, because it is very, very important, right? So this is a concept. Next, India's balance of payment crisis. So there was a balance of payment crisis in 1991. What is this crisis all about? See, till 1991, India was a closed economy. India did not encourage any FDI. They did not encourage any import, right? They neither encouraged any FDI nor did they encourage any import. So, because of this, what happened? Our Forex reserve, that is foreign exchange reserve, was very low. Today it is reaching $700 billion. But so back then it was, before 1991, it was very low, right? And also our currency, Indian currency, was pegged means managed against US dollar, right? So it was managed around $1 is equal to 20 rupees. It was not allowed to depreciate in the market forces, right? So because of all these reasons, and India's exports were also less, and India's import with respect to oil was high, right? Because of all these reasons, what happened? See, when does a country earn foreign reserves, that is foreign Forex reserves? When it has good amount of exports, or it receives money via remittances, or it receives foreign direct investment. Back then all these things were not there. All these things were not there, because of which our Forex reserve depreciated, and in 1991 it reached the lowest of $0.9 billion, less than $1 billion, right? It reached this level, and India was not able to finance its essential imports. What do you mean by essential imports? Oil is an essential import. Suppose India doesn't grow food. If food is needed, then it is an essential import. Oil is an essential import. So in 1991, by 1991, India was not able to pay money for essential imports, those goods which are essential for the existence of the country. So that is what is called as balance of payment crisis. We did not have any money to buy the essential imports, right? So why was the balance of payment crisis happened, right? So the first thing is there was Gulf War in 1991. So Iraq invaded Kuwait, the oil prices spiked up, and also oil, we did not store any oil, we used to import, use it, no reserve of oil, we did not save it. Now we have strategic reserve near Mangalore, Padur, we have strategic reserve, right? So back then there was no strategic reserve, and the Gulf War increased the prices of oil. India did not have any money, right? So with respect to this Gulf War, there is one movie, the movie Airlift, acted by Akshay Kumar. So it speaks about this Gulf War and the tragedy of Indians there, how he evacuated it, right? So there Air India came to the help. See, with respect to Air India, now we have privatized it. See, the Air India, whatever be the negatives, actually it is an important entity. So there should be some government control over it. Why? See, there is a national crisis. Let's say there was Syrian crisis, there were Yemen crisis, right? Also COVID crisis, Kuwait crisis, now Ukraine crisis. So when these crises are there, what happens? These foreign airlines, that is private airlines, they don't fly to those countries, right? Because they will fear for their loss of planes. If a plane is shot or if a plane gets crashed in the war, what happens? There will be huge loss. So they don't fly to those countries. Whoever is stranded, whoever the foreigners, that is Indians are stuck in Ukraine now, they won't be able to come back to India. See, that is when, if the Air India is under government control, government can ask the pilots to take the flight and go. That is why the Air India, there should be some government control, right? That is one of the benefits having government control, right? Even your public hospitals, that is the government hospitals, what are the benefits? See, during the first wave and the second wave of COVID, what happened? These private hospitals turned into money making industry. They started charging 25,000 up to 25,000 per day per bed, right? So poor cannot afford these much beds, and also they started turning away the patients. They sent the patients away, they did not get them admitted. So who came to the rescue? It was the government hospitals which came to the rescue. That is why there should be some public sector involvement in all sectors of the economy. We should not divest completely, right? This is the importance of public sector. Next you have, so why balance of payment crisis happened in 1991? One is Gulf War, the oil prices spiked. Then because of Gulf War, the tourism decreased in India, right? No tourist arrival came reduced. Then ratings, all this foreign rating agency started rating India in a negative way. They stated that India is a bad economy, don't go and invest there. So all these investors, they depend on the ratings. So when the ratings go down, the investors do not invest in India, right? That is one thing. Then outflow, there was significant outflow outside the economy. So whoever had invested in India, the few people who had invested in India, that is NRIs or any other people, foreigners, they had invested, they feared that India will go bankrupt, India will declare financial emergency, all their investment will go into losses. So what they did, they took all their investment, went out of India, all the investment went out of India. That is one thing. Then Forex, they depreciated. I told you it reached the bottom, rock bottom of $0.9 billion, and India had to pledge gold. We had to pledge our gold in order to IMF bailout. IMF gave the bailout. IMF gave the money. So in order to take IMF money, we had to give our gold. Gold saved as an asset in RBI was pledged, right? Okay. So at that time, what India did, India gave this India development bonds. India sold this India development bonds. Via these bonds, India tried to attract the investment. Not only that, we started this Forex immunity scheme. What is this Forex immunity scheme? Under this scheme, So did you understand the concept of India Development Bond? So in order to rejuvenate India, in order to revive India, government started giving bonds to foreigners or Indian citizens. Why? By issuing the bonds, government started collecting money. That is one thing. Next, Forex immunity scheme. Under this Forex immunity scheme, India imposed certain restrictions. India imposed restrictions on outflow of the money, and India started easing the inflow of foreign money. That is foreign dollars, foreign currency money, they started easing. So foreign money came to India, outflow from India was restricted. So Forex immunity scheme was introduced in 1991. So IMF bailed out India, it bailed out India, that is IMF gave the relief measures and took India out of the crisis. So what they did rupee was devalued. Devalued means, so from 1 rupee to $20, it was devalued up to 30 rupees per dollar. Progressively it was devalued. Then 1991, we started the market orientation. What is market orientation? From managed economy or from, from socialist democracy, we started our journey towards market economy, right? Socialist democracy to market oriented economy, we started our journey. Market orientation was there, right? That is the demand, the metrics, that is the price of the goods, instead of being managed by the government, it was started being managed by the demand and supply in the market. Market forces determine the prices. Then we opened up the economy for globalization. We started the globalization, that is global companies were allowed to invest in India, right? So these were the reforms in 1991. Next, BOP and invisibles. Balance of, I told you, under current account, where does this invisibles come? So invisibles come under what? It comes under the current account. Merchandise, invisibles, remittances, factors. 4 factors under the current account, right? So current account, it comes under current account, invisibles, right? One is remittances, I told you. Remittance, one thing. Then you have factor income. Remittance, I have told you what it is. Factor income, I have told you, wages, interest, dividend and rent. All these comes under factor income, right? Then you have services. Services is an invisible. Suppose India is giving educational service, health service, that or IT service, that is invisible, not visible to the eyes, right? So today, with respect to invisibles, our balance of payment is surplus. So we have a balance of payment with respect to invisibles. We have $83 billion surplus. That is in the invisible sector, we have a positive balance. That is our outflow is less, inflow is more, right? So more currency is there. So we are good in invisible sector, that is the current account sector, $83 billion. So states are also involved. States are giving so many privileges, so many facilities in order to increase the invisibles. For example, Karnataka started giving software policy, that is ease the software policy, because of which IT parks were started in Bangalore, right? So states started attracting the foreign direct investment. States, for example, you have your Gujarat Investor Summit, Karnataka Bangalore Investor Summit. So all these summits were started in order to attract the investment in India, right? And also many countries were targeted. So earlier it was only USA or Europe. Now many countries, Australia, Japan, many countries also started to be targeted. Why target? To get money from there. We want to get money from there into India. That is why we started targeting the countries. See, with respect to the investment, Gulf Cooperation Council, this Gulf countries themselves put 50% remittances. So if India's remittances is around $60 billion, $30 billion comes from the Gulf countries. So half of India's remittance come from the Gulf countries. So in order to increase the trade in invisibles, that is current account surplus. If you want to do the current account surplus, I have already told you what is current account. What is current account surplus? Current account deficit means what? See, current account deficit means if our inflow is high, inflow is low and outflow of currency is high with respect to current account, then it is current account deficit. If the inflow of money is high, outflow is low, then it is current account surplus, right? So how do we ensure the current account surplus? When we have reduced the red tape. Reducing red tape means what? Reduce the bureaucratic structure, start fast forwarding the processes, start quick investments, start attracting the investors, export more and more valuable products, right? So that is the concept of reducing the red tapeism. Then interest rate is interest rate we can increase. That is interest rate we have to decrease. When interest rate is decreased, so there will be easy money available. Easy money available. Via that easy money, more and more exports will be encouraged. That is one thing. Then rupee can be weakened. See, if the rupee is weakened, that is rupee is depreciated. See, earlier the rupee was 60 rupees, $1 60 rupees. Now it is 75 rupees. So for the same dollar we are giving more rupee, which means what? More products are coming with the same dollar. So it encourages the exports. I have given you the example of mango. How depreciating rupee will increase the exports, right? So rupee weakening increases the exports. Then we have COVID. Due to COVID, that balance of payment crisis, balance of payment started into the deficit criteria. That is, there was balance of payment deficit or current account deficit. So we have to do, or we have to pump the economy. We have to take the economy out of crisis and ensure that our current account will again turn into surplus. Current account again becomes surplus, right? Okay. This is with respect to the balance of payment and invisibles. Next you have current account deficit. What is current account deficit? See, if it is as simple as this. If the inflow is more or inflow is less, foreign currency inflow is less, outflow is more, then it is deficit. Then it is deficit. Or in what account? Current account. That is, I'll give you one example. What is the example? If, see, I told you current account involves trade. So let us say, take the example of trade. So that is merchandise trade. So merchandise trade, if the inflow, that is import is more, and so inflow and import, actually they are different concepts. I'll delete one of that because you'll get confused. So if the import is more, export is less. Export is less. So what does it mean? If the import is more and more currency is going out. The import is more, outflow is more. If export is less, inflow is less, more and not much currency is coming into India. So because of this, what happens? There is a current account deficit with respect to merchandise trade. This is one example. So current account deficit, the standard formula is balance of trade, BOT, balance of trade. Trade in what? Trade in merchandise and services. Then you have net factor income. I told you factor income. What does it include? Rent, wages, interest, dividends. So that is net factor income. That one. Then net transfer payments. What is transfer payment? Remittances. The Indian origin people, what they send? Net transfer payment. So these three things include the current account. If these three things go negative, that is the outflow is more and inflow of currency is less, then it will lead to current account deficit. So here it can be both public and private. What do you mean by both public and private? See, both government can also government can also receive the factor income, dividends, right? Even the private sector private people will also receive the remittance. So this current account deficit, it includes both public government transaction and private people transaction. Both transactions are included, not only the government, right? So under this crisis, what happens? Our Forex depletes, that is foreign exchange depletes. Why? Because import is more. When import is more, we have to give the money in foreign currency, because of which our foreign exchange depletes. Then we have merchandise deficit. What is, with respect to India, there is merchandise deficit. Means what? I told you here, with respect to invisibles, we are a surplus country. That is services, we are surplus. Whereas merchandise, we are deficit. That means what? We are importing more and more goods, physical goods, machinery, medicines. We are importing more and more of goods. Our exports is less. Export is less. So that is why there is merchandise deficit. Whereas in the services sector, there is a surplus. What is services surplus? We are exporting more and more services, software services, tourism services, banking services, health services, education services, right? Travel services. We are exporting more and more services, importing less and less services, financial services, banking services. So because of which we have a surplus on service account and merchandise account, we have a deficit. So what should we do in order to balance the current account deficit? What should be done? One is, see, FDI, FPI and NRI deposits. FDI, foreign direct investment, FPI, foreign portfolio investment, and NRI deposits, not remittances. Remittances is different. Remittance, they will give to their family. NRI, they will deposit in NRI accounts, right? So if there is a current, these three constitute the capital account, right? These comes under the capital account. So if there is a current account deficit, what we can do is, see, balance of payment includes what? Current account plus capital account plus current account, right? So we are saying in the current account we have a crisis, that is deficit. What we can do is, we can attract more capital. We can attract more capital. When capital comes, even if there is a deficit in the current account, what can be done is, it can be balanced. See, here we will go negative, here we will be positive. So positive and negative will cancel out, and there will be balance of payment will stabilize, right? That is one thing. Then sovereign debt crisis. See, when the current account deficit goes into negative, that is, it increases, that is, current deficit increases. What happens? Sovereign debt crisis. What is sovereign debt crisis? So this is not only with respect to current account, it is balance of payment, whole thing. That is current account plus capital account plus current account. Capital account plus current account, right? So sovereign debt crisis means what? See, under capital account, we will be borrowing money. Borrowing is one clause under capital account. So when this borrowing is not returned back, that is, borrowing is a debt, sala. So when the government borrows and it cannot return the money back, then it is called country sovereign. Sovereign means the government. Government is not able to repay the debt. Then it is called sovereign debt crisis, right? Sovereign debt crisis. Okay. Okay. So when the government is not able to pay its debt, it is sovereign debt crisis. It will hamper the capital account, in turn the balance of payment. Then this current account deficit, CAD means, see, CAD you always take it as current account, because current account is more important than capital account. Why? Because trade is more important than inflows, investment inflow. So when there in the CAD, that is current account deficit, exceeds 2.5%. That is, if In the current account, I told you 4 things are there. Let us take the example of services now. So we are exporting, since we have a surplus there, let us take the example of merchandise itself. We are exporting, let's say, 100 rupees of goods, 100 rupees of goods, and we are, or let's say we are importing 100% of goods, 100 goods. We are exporting just 97 goods. Import 100 goods, export 97 goods. So there is a current account deficit. How much? 3. 100 rupees of goods imported, 97 rupees goods exported. There is 3 rupees current account deficit. So it crosses the 2.5% with respect to this example. That current account deficit, if it crosses the 2.5%, then it is bad. Then you have what is the good CAD, that is how to make the CAD good. So actually current account deficit is if it is maintained within the limit. What limit? 2.5% odagidre it is good. Why? Because it shows that high FDI. See, if the current account is negative, if there is a deficit on the current account, deficit idre andre shortage idre current account alli, we can always balance it with increasing, balance it with increasing FDI, right? Foreign direct investment. So if there is a CAD within 2.5%, we can attract more and more FDI in order to balance that. Then if the CAD is good, so what is a good CAD? If it is within the limit, and also if foreign portfolio investment, right? So we will attract foreign portfolio investment. Foreign portfolio investment also comes under capital account. FDI, FPI all come under capital account. So if there is a current account deficit, we will attract more and more investment. So a limited current account deficit is good, is what the author says. Next, what is the step to reduce the current account deficit? How to reduce the current account deficit? One is liberalize the FDI, that is foreign direct investment should be attracted more and more. Why? I told you, if there is a deficit on current account, it can be always be balanced by increasing the investment in the capital account, right? So because why means capital account plus current account constitutes the balance of payment. If current account alli shortage idre, capital account, that is FDI na jasti madi, we can have a stable or a balance of payment surplus, right? Steps. What is the steps? One is increase the FDI, that is increase the current account, the capital account inflow. Then external commercial borrowings, we can borrow the money, companies can borrow. Then sovereign wealth fund. See, if you see the Gulf countries or UAE or Saudi Arabia, all the USA, all these countries have lot of money, lot of foreign money, that is foreign currency money. Those money is called sovereign, that is it is with the government, and the government wealth, that is the foreign reserve with the government. It is constituted as a fund, right? So we can attract this sovereign wealth fund into India. Sovereign wealth fund can be attracted into India from the Gulf countries. Then you have exports. We can do more and more exports. If we do more and more exports, what happens? We will receive lot of foreign currency that will actually balance both current account and capital account both, right? So majorly, if the exports get increased, our current account deficit will reduce. Why? Because exports increase, more money will come into India, the current account shortage will reduce. That is one thing. Then reduce the imports. If we reduce the import, what happens? More money, the money which goes out of India reduces. The foreign currency going out of India reduces. So our current account deficit is reduced. Then we have dollar bonds. We can issue the dollar bonds. That is, we can issue the bonds in the foreign markets, that is American depository receipts, global depository receipts. I have discussed it in the earlier class. By issuing those bonds, we can attract money, investment into India via which we can tackle the current account deficit, right? Next we have currency convertibility. Currency convertibility. What do you mean by currency convertibility? See, convertibility means there is a dollar, there is rupee. If a person is able to easily convert the dollar to rupee and rupee to dollar, it is called currency convertibility. So if fully convertible andre, all the dollars could be converted into rupee and all the rupee could be easily converted into dollar. That is full convertibility, right? Currency convertibility also, we have two types of convertibility. One is current account convertibility, capital account convertibility. For the time being, you just understand current account as trade account. In order to understand, capital account as investment account. Investment account, right? So this is one of the component. Trade is one of the component, not the sole component. Here also investment is one of the component, not the sole component, right? Currency convertibility, current account only. That is, if we do trade, if we do the trade, import and export, can we convert the currency which we see? We export mangoes, we get some dollars. Can we convert all those dollars into rupee? That is current account convertibility. Next we have investment, foreign direct investment, right? Or foreign portfolio investment. See, these investments come to India. Can we convert all these investments into Indian rupee or vice versa? That is, when the investment goes out of India, can we convert all the rupees into dollar? That is capital account convertibility. There is depth of convertibility and also range of convertibility. What is depth of convertibility? Depth of convertibility means how much currency can be converted. How much currency can be converted is the depth of convertibility. Can we convert all the money or can we convert some specific money, right? If we increase, that is, if we increase, more and more currency can be converted, then it means more depth in the depth of convertibility. Range means across what all products can we convert. Can we convert in the current account? Can we convert in the capital account? Right? Can we convert the money in the trade account? Can we convert it in invisibles or remittance or investment? So can we convert in various sectors across various ranges? That is the range of convertibility, right? Then you have full convertibility, the concept of full convertibility. Full convertibility means converting both current account and capital account into rupee and dollar, right? Converting all the money from dollar to rupee, all the money from rupee to dollar. That is full convertibility. Both across current account and capital account, both across the both, if we can convert, that is full convertibility. See, no country practices full convertibility. Why? Because if full convertibility is allowed, what happens? There will be speculative investment. It will actually hamper. Why? See, you will understand it with the example. We have this tiger economy, South Asian tigers, all these Asian countries. What happened? There was lot of foreign investment in the before 1997. There was every sector, there was lot of foreign investment. What happened? It had allowed the capital account convertibility. Capital account convertibility, it had allowed full convertibility. All the money could be converted into local money and also reverse into dollars, right? So what happened when there was a crisis, 1997, there was a crisis in this tiger economy, Southeast Asian country crisis. What happened? USA increased the interest rate. USA increased the interest rate. What happened? All these foreign investment went back, went out of the Southeast Asian countries. So they went into crisis. So if we allow full convertibility, it will hamper the country. The money might come, it might go immediately. There will be speculative investment. I have told you, just like playing lottery, people will come invest, take the money and go. It is also called as what? Hot money. Hot money. I have discussed it in the last class, right? So Indian scenario. What is the Indian scenario? There is foreigners investment. There is foreigners investment is there under capital account. There is foreigners investment, and also there is NRI deposits. There is high number of NRI deposits in India. So with respect to Indian scenario, foreigners investment. What are the foreigners investment? We have FDI, we have FPI. So earlier we had sub accounts, we had qualified foreign investor, also we have participatory notes. So all these are investment. Also now government is selling bonds, sovereign bonds outside. So all these are foreign investment in India. Apart from that, we have NRI deposits. Non-residential Indians are also depositing money in India. That is NRI deposits. So this is one thing, Indian scenario. But so in both these sectors, we are not allowing full convertibility. India is not allowing full convertibility. I have told you why. Because it is hot money. Money will come and go immediately. So Indian residents. So with respect to the investment, there is no limit. Any amount of money can be deposited in India. Any amount of money can be invested in India. Whereas if the Indian residents invest outside, there is a limit. There is a limit. If the Indian residents deposit the money outside, for individuals, the limit is $250,000. Individuals. And also there is a limit for Indian companies to invest in outside country. There is a threshold, right? So there is a limit. So not all the money can be converted in India. So these companies need RBI permission. They need RBI permission in order to invest in the foreign countries, right? Next, with respect to full convertibility, we have certain provisions. One is liberalized financial flows. So how to make more and more the economy more and more convertible. So in these sectors, I told investment and deposit, it is full convertible, whereas reverse, it is not full convertible, right? So we can liberalize the financial flows. If we liberalize the invest and deposit, full convertible, that will move towards full convertibility. Then convertibility for more purposes, that is more and more sectors should be opened. Defense sector could be opened, right? Banking sector could be opened, which is not open now. If we open those sectors, that is more and more money will come there. So all these monies can be converted into Indian rupee. Convertibility for more purpose, more sectors. What are so? We have allowed foreign direct investment in retail sector, FDI in multi-brand retail. FDI in multi-brand retail allowed in 2013. Multi-brand retail means what? Your Walmart, your Metro, all this. Metro is actually multi-brand wholesale, whereas Walmart is a multi-brand retail. So they say this is hampering the local shops, local departmental stores, local provision stores, or local kirana stores. This is hampering, right? So FDI in multi-brand retail, right? So we can allow more and more purposes. We can allow the convertibility, that is second sector. Then we should not have any cap on investment. There should be no cap. That is with respect to investment, incoming money, we should not set any limit. Then it will lead to more fuller convertibility. Then we should allow automatic approval. Instead of government approval, we should allow automatic approval. Automatically the money will be converted. That will increase the fuller convertibility. Then we should also allow liberalized outflow. See here I told you Indian residents there is a limit exists. Whereas in order to allow full convertibility, not only the investment, the money which goes outside India, that should also be liberalized. The outflow from India should also be liberalized, should be made free. So then only that is the money which goes from India, that is rupee, should be allowed to be converted into foreign currency freely. So then we have the liberalized outflow, free outflow. Then full convertibility will happen. Next you have the concept of benefits. Benefits of full convertibility. What are the benefits if you have full convertibility? One is, if all the foreign currency can be converted into Indian rupee, all the Indian rupee could be converted into foreign currency, more and more foreign direct investment will come, and also Indian companies, Indian banks can access to foreign funds. See, we have NPA problem, non-performing assets. Companies have less money, crowding out effect, because government is taking all the money. So they can access the foreign funds which is available at cheap rates. See, if you take the loan in India, it is 8 to 9% interest rate. Foreign, there will be only 1.5 to 2%. So if we allow full convertibility, more and more foreign funds will come to India as investment. Next you have foreign acquisition can be done. That is, Indian companies can acquire more and more foreign companies. The best example is Jaguar Land Rover, taken over by the Tatas. Then macroeconomic discipline. If full convertibility is there, it will ensure macroeconomic discipline. Why? If full convertibility is there, there will be fear in the economy that if something goes wrong, if inflation spikes, if the interest rate falls, or the stock market collapses, right? So all these things, if there is something problematic in the economy, everything will go topsy-turvy. The foreign investment will disappear. So this will, if we allow the full convertibility, it will force the macroeconomic discipline. I have told you what is macroeconomy. Then we can invest more and more abroad. Indians can invest more and more abroad if full convertibility is allowed. So what is the fear? What is the negative of full convertibility? I told you, Asian financial crisis similarly can be replicated. Next, it might lead to unemployment. See, I told you, just like China invests lot of money in foreign countries, but it will bring in Chinese employees. So what if the foreign companies bring in their own people? Indians will lose the employment. That is one thing. Then rupee is not a hard currency. What is a hard currency? There is two criteria for being a hard currency. One, it should be stable. Second, it should be liquid. That is, what do you mean by stable? Stable andre, it should not change frequently. 1 rupee, $1.75 there, it should be the same for extended period of time. That is stable. Liquid andre, there should be more and more flow of rupee in the external and internal environment, right? India, whereas rupee is not at a hard currency, it is a soft currency, right? So because of that, hard currency agde iradrinda, what happens if we allow the full convertibility? Rupee will depreciate. Rupee will depreciate. When does it depreciate? The money comes, the money leaves immediately. Rupee will depreciate. So that is one this thing. Then defensively we cannot allow the investment. That is also a negative, right? Next, we will move towards Tarapur recommendations. See, Tarapur recommendations, it is with respect to the full convertibility. Tarapur committee speaks about the full convertibility, right? The first committee was formed in 1997. See, what does this Tarapur committee says? So in order to achieve full convertibility, full money convertibility from rupee to dollar or any other currency to rupee, first we should have fiscal, there should be, I told you, there should be proper macroeconomic discipline. First, what does this Tarapur committee says? First, we will lay a proper foundation. After this, we can build the building of convertibility. If this is convertibility, there should be proper foundation. What is the foundation? Fiscal deficit should be less. I have told you what is fiscal deficit. It should be less. That is one thing. There should be good foreign exchange. Forex reserve should be good. If Forex reserve idre enagutte, it will act as a cushion, right? Even if foreign investment disappears, there will be a cushioning of the economy, right? The good Forex reserves. Then there should be minimum NPAs, non-performing assets should be minimum, right? If NPAs jasti idre enagutte, there won't be much investment in the country. Then inflation should be in the right range. Inflation correct agirbeku. These are the fundamentals. Or else what will happen? If the inflation is high, more money comes into India, inflation will rise even up, right? So inflation should be managed. Then interest rate should be moderate. Andre, interest rate should be neither too low nor too high. What is interest rate? Interest rate means the rate at which people will get loan from the banks, or RBI gives money to the banks. So that is interest rate. See, if all these fundamentals, all these foundation, that is fiscal deficit, Forex reserve, NPAs, inflation and interest rate, if all these are at the proper level, then only we should allow for full convertibility. And this person says, this person committee says. Next we have Rupee convertibility. See, before 1991, there was dual exchange rate. Dual exchange rate means what? 1991 munche, see, there was this concept of 60-40. See, 40%, 60% of the money could be converted at market rate, 40% at government rate. Erad rate ittu, market rate and also government rate. Government rate $1.20 idre, market rate 25 ittu. So there was dual exchange rate. This was abolished after 1991. So partial convertibility of rupee. Avaga, see, before 1991, there was no full convertibility. Only some currency could be converted into foreign currency, or some foreign currency could be converted into Indian currency. So after came this LERMS, LERMS. Post 1991, what they did, liberalized exchange rate management system. See, the statement or the word itself is self-explanatory. That is liberalized exchange rate. Exchange rate is not managed, it is free. So liberalized exchange rate management system. Post 1981, we will form this LERMS, LERMS. Next, post 1981, what happens? Trade account ali full convertibility kodtivi. 1993, trade account means what? What does it include? It includes merchandise and services. In these two things, we will allow full convertibility. 1993, full convertibility. Then current account. See, trade account is a part of what account? Current account. First, we will give full convertibility to trade account. Means what? Full convertibility in trade account means what? Import and export. We can, in both goods and services, we can exchange the money completely into foreign currency or foreign currency into Indian currency. Export and import ali full convertibility. Then current account ali 1994 we will allow full convertibility, right? That is the second step. Then according to what this convertibility measures are taken, Article 8 of IMF. Article 8 of International Monetary Fund speaks about the convertibility. Article 8 of International Monetary Fund speaks about convertibility. Next, you have the concept of capital account. So, capital account, what is capital account? I told you. Foreign institutional investors, FII, that is FDI, FPI, all those things contribute to the capital account. Also, your GDR. GDR means what? Global Depository Receipt or American Depository Receipt. That is Indian companies going and listing in American Stock Exchange and taking the money from there. So both of these things come under capital account, right? This is just an example I am giving. Then you have 1991 ali, there is surge in capital flows. After India underwent the liberalization, privatization and globalization, there was high surge in the, that is high increase in the capital flows within India. Capital flows and ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಬಟ್ಟೆ ಬಂಡವಾಳ ಬಂತು ದೇಶದೊಳಗೆ, right, post 1991. Then we also carried out lot of structural reforms. Structural reforms maddi. What are the structural reforms we did? LPG itself is a structural reform first. Then what we did, we abolished this license Raj, we abolished Inspector Raj, right? We opened up for privatization, we opened up for globalization, right? We abolished the quota system, we abolished the reservation, industrial reservation. We devalued the rupee, we allowed foreign banks. So all these things are the structural reforms which we did in 1991, because of which there was surge in the capital flows. Then current account only, this is with respect to capital account. Current account only, we have goods, services, remittances and factor income. I told you 4 things. Travel also comes under current account. See, but travel you can include in the services. So it is consisting of just goods, services, remittances and factor income, right? So with respect to current account, there is no external debt. Means what? Current account alli namdu sala illa. Capital account, yes, current account doesn't include the external debt, right? External debt comes under what? Capital account, right? Okay. So this is the brief things I wanted to tell. Then Tarapur Committee on CAC. See, there was second Tarapur Committee. First Tarapur Committee 1997. Second Tarapur Committee comes in 2006. Same person gives the second recommendation 2006 only. See, this committee is sorry, I am still talking about the 1997 committee only. 1990. So this is 1997 committee only. So this talks about the, this is given by the RBI, formed by the RBI. Tarapur Committee on Capital Account Convertibility. Current account so we liberalize completely. So capital account, it is given by convertibility by Tarapur Committee. This committee was formed by the Reserve Bank of India. So it says that, just like what I told, it says first we should understand the prerequisites. What do you mean by prerequisites? The prerequisites means building a strong foundation. Building a strong foundation is the prerequisite. That is the minimum requirement we need is called the prerequisite, right? So in order to have the capital account convertibility, first we should understand the prerequisite. Then only we can allow the full capital account convertibility, right? Then it says that we should undertake some measures. What are the measures? These measures we should undertake anta heltare. Then it says that we should allow the capital account convertibility in a proper time frame. We should not allow it directly. If we allow it directly, it will be, economy will collapse, rupee will melt down. It should be allowed in phases. There should be a proper time frame for it anta heltare Tarapur Committee. Next, we should change the fiscal policy. I told you the fiscal deficit should be very minimal. So he says there should be changes to fiscal policy. Also he says there are lot of benefits for full convertibility. So what are the benefits of full convertibility? I have discussed here. What are the benefits? Right? Then he also says there is lot of risk for full convertibility. What are the risks? I have told you. These are the risks with respect to full convertibility. Next, he says this full account convertibility is a double-edged sword. What do you mean by a double-edged sword? See, a sword is there, both the sides it is sharp. Full convertibility is a double-edged sword. Why? If we allow full convertibility, what happens? Foreign currency, foreign investment will come in huge numbers. But some crisis happens, all the foreign currency will go back. So as it benefits, so it destroys the economy. So it will benefit and destroy both. So it is a double-edged sword anta heltare Tarapur Committee. Then, and also he says there should be a phased adoption, that is proper step-by-step adoption instead of one go adoption of full convertibility anta heltare. So he says that there preconditions should be the prerequisites should be adhered to. First proper foundation filled body, then we will allow full convertibility anta heltare. Precondition should be satisfied, right? Then you have second Tarapur committee 2006. Second Tarapur committee comes in 2006. So it is also set up by RBI. What does it speak about? Again, it speaks about the current account convertibility, capital account convertibility. Till today, we have not allowed full capital account convertibility. No country has allowed, right? So, it says, what are the required changes? 1997 ali, whatever they said, that is done. So, 2006 ali, what is the required changes? One is, we should increase the convertibility over next 5 years. He says that capital account, we should increase the convertibility. What are the benefits and risk? I have already told you. Over 5 years, we have to increase the convertibility so that to realize the economic potential. Convertibility na jasti madre, it will help our economy. So in order to realize that economic potential, we have to increase the convertibility anta heltare. Next, he says, this second Tarapur committee says, foreign capital is imperative. That is, foreign capital, we need it mandatorily. Anta heltare. Next, phase shift. That is, he repeats the same statement in 1997. There should be step by step change towards full convertibility. Right? He also says, we should improve the regulatory standards. That is what? That is, regulation, government regulation should be improved anta heltare, right? That is one thing. Then we should ban participatory notes. Why we should ban participatory notes? I told you what is participatory notes in the money market and stock market concepts, right? So participatory notes means what? Those are non-transparent instruments. These are not transparent. Transparent means what? We don't know who is investing. See, FPI, FDI, we know who is investing. They are direct investors. Whereas participatorily, there is lot of secrecy. We don't know who is investing. They are investing in India, but we don't know the identity. Terrorists might be investing, or money laundering people might be investing. So he says, capital account convertibility, if we are allowing andre, we should ban the participatory notes anta heltare, right? Then this committee says we should ease the direct investment routes. We should ease the direct investment routes. So rather than allowing indirect investment into India, we should allow direct investment. We should allow direct investment into India. Yakandre indirect investment idre, what will happen? There will be lot of problems. We don't know the identity of the person. There will be secrecy. So he says we should allow direct investment. Also he says foreign investors should be treated at par with NRI investors. See, NRIs are Indian citizens, right? They are Indian citizens residing abroad. So these foreign investors should be treated equal to NRI investors. Andre, what are the facilities we give? Even foreign investors should get the same facility and in order to attract, in order to move towards capital account convertibility. Also he says overseas borrowing restrictions is, and borrowing outside the country, there should be no restrictions, or there should be very less restrictions anta heltare. Overseas borrowing restrictions should be eased. That is one thing. Next, remittance limit should be increased. And if the NRIs or overseas Indians are remitting money into India, or Indians or foreigners are remitting money outside India, that limit, I told you, outside India it is $250,000, right? So that limit should be increased. That limit should be increased, or else it will be problematic, right? For full account convertibility. Then for this fiscal deficit should be under control. I have discussed it already. And also there should be monetary policy committee. What does this monetary policy committee do? It sets the repo rate. It targets the inflation. inflation targeting madutte. When did we start it? 2015-16 we started it. Okay, so this is second Tarapur committee, right? So we have relaxations so far. What are the relaxations we have done till now with respect to the balance of payment? With respect to balance of payment, what are the relaxations we have done? So the relaxation is, we have, for earlier we had Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. Earlier we had what? FERA Act 1973. FERA Act, Foreign Exchange Regulate Act, under Indira Gandhi government. So it was a very strict act. Andre foreign currency na Indian rupee ge exchange madodu, it was very difficult, or vice versa. It was very difficult. It was a strict law. Adanna post 1991, what we did, we bought in FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act anta we start 1999 alli. Why? So illi strict iddaga there was no import and export, or the investment and outflow was very restricted, right? Later what happened, when under FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999 alli, when we do it, what happens? It facilitates the trade and payment. It facilitated the trade. Trade ge help aitu. Foreign exchange management means what? The rupee convertibility was eased. There was no restrictions, right? So we facilitated the trade because of FEMA. Trade restrictions were removed. Then payment was also eased. Andre, if somebody wants to deposit money in India, invest money in India, or vice versa, it was also eased under FEMA. Then this contributed to the Forex market. Because FEMA was there, more and more foreign exchange came to India. That is why today we are reaching $700 billion. Then this is not civil offense, it is civil offense. So earlier enagtaittu, foreign exchange alli enaru fraud aitu andre, under foreign exchange if there is any fraud, it was treated as a criminal offense. Criminal offense. Whereas under FEMA, it is treated as a civil offense. It is treated as a civil offense. So what is difference between criminal and civil offense? So criminal offense is dealt by the Criminal Procedure Code. Civil offense by Civil Procedure Code. And the punishment in criminal offense is more. Civil offense, it is less. Criminal offense, the bail provisions are strict. Whereas civil offense, it is easy, right? So these are the differences, right? It is treated as a foreign exchange is treated as civil offense. So relaxation, now the relaxation, one of the relaxation is FEMA, right? Then the next relaxation is FDA and FPI. See, earlier I told you there was QFI, sub account, FII, P notes, and the Sikavate, there was various categories. Now we have just FDA and FPI, both of these limits increased. There is unlimited, or the limits in foreign direct investment and foreign portfolio investment have been increased. That is one thing. And then with respect to external commercial borrowing, what is external commercial borrowing? Indian companies borrow outside the country, that is external commercial borrowing. With respect to external commercial borrowing, there is no RBI or FAM approval, Finance Ministry approval. Earlier, with respect to the external commercial borrowing, we need to take the approval of whom? The Finance Minister, Finance Ministry, or the RBI. Now there is no such approval. Then we have allowed the masala bonds. Masala bond is also a relaxation, because more and more foreign money, foreign dollars or foreign currency comes into India, and also we can repay it in rupee, no issues, but more currency comes. Masala bonds we have allowed. Then inflows have been liberalized. That is, foreign inflow has been eased, more and more freedom to foreign inflows, right? Then overseas investment limit increased. Means what? Indians can invest more money outside India, right? So when we allow foreign money inside India, inside money should also go out, right? That is good practice. So overseas investment limit is increased, right? That is one thing. Then I told you the limit today is 2.5 lakh, $5 lakh. 2.5 lakh, $2,50,000 is the limit. Next we have the sovereign bonds. We have allowed sovereign bonds recently, 2019-20. What is a sovereign bond? What is a sovereign bond? Sovereign bonds are bonds given by the government, issued by the government. Sovereign bonds are bonds issued by the government in foreign countries. Foreign countries to borrow the money, So that is also there, right? Next, next we have the concept of internationalization of rupee. Internationalization of rupee. What is internationalization of rupee? See, if rupee is accepted worldwide, if rupee is a valid currency worldwide, if rupee is treated as valid across the world, then it means rupee is internationally valid. It is rupee is internationalized. Rupee ge ella vishwadadyanta manyate ide. Then it is internationalization of rupee. See, if the rupee is internationalized or rupee is valid across the world, what are the benefits? One, we can pay for our imports in rupee. Import we can pay in rupee. Export, if we export, we will receive the money in rupee. That is one thing, right? Then we can issue rupee bonds. Rupee bonds like masala bonds, we can issue bonds, rupee bond, denominated bonds across the world, right? If rupee is valid across the world, that is one thing. Then rupee will act as a reserve currency. What do you mean by reserve currency? Reserve currency means that currency which is capable of being held as a reserve. See, gold is a reserve. Why? Because gold is valid all the time. Everywhere it is valid, right? So likewise, dollar is a reserve currency. Why dollar is a reserve currency? Because it is accepted worldwide. It is accepted worldwide. So dollar is a reserve currency, right? So when rupee is internationalized, there is it will become a reserve currency. Means what? Iran will hold rupee. Japan might save rupee. Now we are holding what currencies? We are holding euro, we are holding pound, we are holding dollar, we are holding yen, India currency, because these are reserve currencies. We are also holding SDRs. Like that, if some other country holds Indian rupee as a reserve, that is reserve currency, right? When rupee is internationalized, rupee will be held as a reserve currency. Then what are the benefits? What are the benefits of internationalization of rupee? One is India would be integrated globally. Indian economy will get connected to the whole world because rupee, seamless transaction, foreign exchange concept will not be there. Rupee only we can pay to import, export, bonds, reserve currency everywhere, right? So economy will be integrated. Then savings on Forex. What do you mean by savings on Forex? Means, see, in order to acquire the foreign exchange, we have to pay a lot of money, right? We have to pay a lot of money. So when rupee is internationalized, we need not hold any foreign exchange. We can hold our currency only. Does America hold any foreign currency? No, because American dollar is internationalized. So we save the money on the foreign exchange, right? Then we have dependency reduced. For other currency, dependency reduced. We are not dependent on dollar, yen, euro, pound, any currency, franc. No currency we are dependent on. We are dependent solely on rupee. All these are the benefits of the internationalization of rupee, right? Okay. So we will end the class here today. We will tomorrow continue with the international currency concept, right? So thank you for your patience. Please make good use of the classes. If you have any doubts, please put it in the comment section. We will try to answer all of them. And also you can connect us on our Telegram channel, VHS Education Forum. Please take good care of your health. Namaste. Jai Hind.